This is Ready, Set, Bet with Matt Brown and Mike Somich on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
Bet here on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. Matt Brown, Mike Somich coming to you live from Circa Resort and Casino here in Las Vegas. Biggest sports book in the world. Hopping on Thursday, a little bit on Friday, not so much today. People are drafted out now, Mike.
Yeah, well, I mean, we do have one big storyline, obviously. Shedeur Sanders still on the board in the draft. Been a phenomenal first couple days. Looking forward to talking about that. We've got Rookie of the Year markets up on the offensive and defensive side. Love to see that. We got a full playoff slate today, too, Matt, in the NBA and the NHL.
Yeah, it is. It's kind of dominating the news cycle right now, the whole Shedeur Sanders thing. I mean, we'll obviously give our thoughts here in a little bit on all of that, but we do have games that are starting right now. So we need to go ahead and get those talked about, Mike, and we got a playoff game, and that is Cleveland and Miami. It is sitting, wow, there's a 4.5 that just hit out there at MGM. So if you were looking to bet Cleveland, there is a 4.5. If you are looking to bet Miami, there is a 5.5 that is still available at ESPN Bet out there, 211 all the way to 212 on the total here in this one.
Yeah, we've seen some movement on the number there. It was 5.5 across the board. Garland announced out for the game. That's been the big adjustment here. So we've seen some money come in on the Heat at home to push this to 4.5, 5 in some places. It's a big game for the Heat here. They need to find a way to get one at home if they want to try and get themselves back in the series. I didn't bet the game. I would lean toward the Heat if I was going to play a side. But for me here, I'm going to go to Tyler Hero props. He's sitting at 24.5 at most books. You can take the over there, minus 110 or minus 115. And his shot volume has just been phenomenal here so far in the playoffs. 18 shots in game one, 24 shots in game two, including 11 three-point attempts. The offense has to come from somewhere for Miami here. I think Tyler Hero, the spot that they're going to get that offense from. Expect quite a few shots from him today, so we'll take over that 24.5 point prop, Matt.
Yeah, Cavs won by 9 on Wednesday. And at one point in that game, Mike, at the 3:11 mark, we were at 105 to 103. So we were a one possession game late into the fourth quarter before this thing did get away and get out to 9. In that game, the Heat shot 52% from the floor. They shot 36% from three, but then you go over on the Cavs side, in which they went 22 of 45. So nearly 50% from three, and then also shot over 90% from the line at 21 of 23. Really, you kind of look deeper into that box score and you see that it was, 5 fewer turnovers as well for the Cavs than the Heat. And so even though the Heat had such a heater of a game, and no, pun intended there, they still weren't able to get it done because you do see the Cavs lighten it up from three, not wasting points at the free throw line. And then also they turned it over 5 fewer times.
Yeah, the turnovers obviously make a big difference there. These game threes always interesting, Matt. We saw yesterday all three home teams win the game three. All three of them, well, two of the three, the Magic and the Bucks, both down 0-2 heading into it. They get the win. Timberwolves win last night. That puts that series at 2-1 as well. But these home teams in game three, generally very good, especially after getting swept on the road. So this is going to be an interesting spot for the Heat. They need to get it done here if they want to get back in the series.
Yeah, I've got a bad number. I took 5 with the Cavs on the road here. I understand what you're saying about the team coming back home and all of that, but I think you look at what Miami put out there in game number 2, which is basically the best game they can play, in my opinion. It wasn't like they turned it over a ton, Mike. It was just that they had more turnovers than the Cavs. But we're not looking down and they had 20 turnovers or anything like that. That's not the way that this played out. You shoot as well as you do from the field. You shoot as well as you do from three. You still don't get it done. I think that was the best effort from Miami there in that one. And they still just were not able to get it done. So I'll go ahead and lay the 5 here with Cleveland. That being said, that 4.5 is gone. So people did gobble that up out there at MGM. So that is now back to 5. So as we approach tip off here, Mike, a little bit of last minute money coming in on Cleveland.
Yeah, a little bit of last money on Cleveland and some under money flying in as well. This game actually opened at 214.5. You mentioned how well both of these teams shot the ball in game 2. We're seeing the total as low as 211.5 in places now. So we've seen the under hit pretty hard in this game. A lot of expectations that we're not going to see that same shooting performance as we did in game 2.
And then we do have a early hockey game as well, Tampa Bay and Florida. This is currently sitting about minus 135 out. Is that what you're? Yeah, that's about 130, 135, something like that. 5.5 on our total. Anything in this one?
I played a little first period under. You can get the under 1.5 in the first period at minus 115. This is going to be a fascinating game to watch. We've seen, Florida go on the road and beat Tampa in both of those first two games. I have Tampa in the series, so not loving where we are sitting right now. But you had a big time incident in game 2 as well. Alexander Barkov, the captain for the Panthers, gets checked to the head by Brandon Hagel. He has been suspended for game 3. Barkov was questionable, and now he is going to be inserted in the lineup. He was in warm-up, so they are expecting Barkov to play in this spot. Big plus here for the Panthers, who return home and really try and just absolutely take complete charge of this series going up 3-0. This is going to be a fascinating game to watch, though, Matt. You got bad blood going. These teams have played each other the last few years in the playoffs as well. Tampa was the slight dog going into the series. Now you see the Panthers as a huge favorite here. I'm fascinated to watch what the style is going to be. I think you're going to see some big hits and possibly fights here in the first period just because of what we saw at the end of game 2.
As you say, the Panthers lead this thing 2-0 over the Lightning. Mike, we talk about the puck line sometimes with these favorites. If you wanted a goal and a half, plus 185, so nearly out to 2-1 if you did want to back the home team Panthers here to go up 3-0.
Yeah, if I'm playing the Panthers, I'm playing the puck line. We've seen it all playoff season so far. If the game doesn't go to overtime, we're seeing these games decided by 2 goals. If you're playing the favorite, I think you have to at least sprinkle on the puck line, especially when you're getting that type of price, where you're getting close to 2-1 for the Panthers to be able to cover. We're seeing goalies be pulled a lot earlier in these playoffs. You're seeing 1-goal games with goalies out with 3 minutes left, 2-goal games with as much as 5 minutes left. That all adds up to third period overs. It adds up toward the team that's ahead being able to cover by 2 because you have more time to be able to try and score in that empty net. Yeah,
a quick aside there with that one, but that is something, even me not being a hockey bettor, I am going to do some research here in the off season because as we know, Mike, the analytics are definitely creeping in more and more and more over in hockey. And as you and I both know, I mean, these teams realize if you're down, it increases your chances far more if you have the extra person out there trying to score. And so, like you mentioned, they are pulling these goalies way earlier than they have in years past. And I'm wondering if these favorites on the puck line, if you like the favorite in the game, I should say, but I mean, these favorites on the puck line might be a bet to start looking at even more. I know you do play a bunch of puck lines as it is anyway, but maybe it might even be the bet du jour next season for the NHL.
Yeah, I would even look at the dog on the reverse puck line. Yeah. Like if you like Tampa plus 117, I'd be sprinkling. You're probably getting plus 250, maybe plus 285, somewhere in that range on Tampa minus 1.5. If I'm playing anybody, I'm sprinkling on the puck line for that team as well, laying the 1.5 just because of what we're seeing here. And we have seen success with the empty net too. I mean, you look at Edmonton, who was down 2 goals. They pulled their goalie with about 5 minutes left against Los Angeles in game 1. They get 2 goals. They end up losing 6-5. But they were able to get those goals late in the game at least. And because of that, like with 1 goal difference, if you pull your goalie with 3 minutes, even if you give up an empty netter, you still can pull your goalie again and try and get those 2 back. And because of that, we're seeing teams take advantage of it and get that extra skater out there early and earlier.
Colby Marchio going to join us next segment. Aaron Halterman going to join us in the 11 Pacific hour. Joe DeLeon going to join us. So we got you with baseball. We got you with hockey. We got you with racing. We got you with the NFL draft and just the overall thoughts here from college football in general from Joe DeLeon. So we got you covered here. Stick around with us on Ready, Set, Bet. All right, Mike, we have a couple of baseball games that are going as well. If you want to bet the Blue Jays and the Yankees, too bad the game is postponed. Sorry for you if that was already in your account, guys. Go in. You got refunded. The money is back in there. So you're looking for an early sweat. We got the Orioles and the Tigers. We got the Red Sox and the Guardians. This is Brandon Young for the Orioles going up against Casey Mize for the Tigers. So when you got Brandon Young going on the road against the Tigers, yeah, you're going to find yourself as a dog. So it is minus 135 Tigers at home, plus 114 Orioles on the road. 8.5 is our total here in this one. And in that Red Sox game, Tanner Houck on the road against Ben Lively for the Guardians. This is about a coin flip, slightly shaded towards the Red Sox on the road. 7.5, the total there in that one. Any look in these early first pitches?
You know, it feels like we talk about Casey Mize every single week, Matt. I don't know if he just pitches exclusively on Saturdays and Sundays or what's up here, but we've had a lot of Casey Mize conversations. And right now he's sitting there at 3-1 with a 2.22 ERA. And I'm starting to get to the point. You're going to hear me talk about xERA, X batting average, which is adjusted stats based on the way that the hitters have hit and the situation. So you're going to have certain pitchers that are just having luck where the ball is getting caught when it's being hit hard at people. And Casey Mize is one of those people who actually is not right now. He's sitting with an expected ERA of 2.29. So right around that 2.22 ERA. If anything here, I'm on the Tigers. We've seen money coming on the Orioles. The Tigers are as high as minus 150. You mentioned down to minus 135. You can get the first 5 for the Tigers, laying a half run, and you're able to get that to plus 110. I couldn't get it in my account simply because I don't trust this Tigers offense at all. And I do think that this Orioles offense is due to wake up at some point. So
that's what I was about to say, man. This Orioles offense is like, I mean, has there been a more disappointing offense in baseball through the first? I mean, they are down at 21st in weighted on base in Major League Baseball through the small sample size that we've got, but they're too talented to be 21st.
This is the problem with having a bunch of young guys sometimes, Matt. They all don't hit at the same time. And that's what we're seeing with this Baltimore offense. You have to expect the bats are going to wake up at some point. The question is when. I do think that this is a look for the Tigers if you want anything, but I couldn't quite get it into the account just because I don't trust that Tigers offense at all. I mean, after the third or fourth hitter, it falls off fast.
Yeah, I'm with you, though. I think I could only play the Tigers, though, if I was playing this one. I mean, if you wanted to go in and do some sort of like money line parlay or something just to have some action this morning, I don't blame you. I could get there on the Tigers because I just can't get there on the Orioles until I see it with these bats. I mean, Gunnar Henderson obviously came in with MVP aspirations, Mike, and he is struggling. He is on the struggle bus, man.
Well, it's not just him. It's up and down the lineup. You don't have anybody who's really consistently hitting the ball, I should say, outside of Cedric Mullins, who's been awesome so far this year. But
you got late in your fantasy draft. I know you know because you got him late in your fantasy drafts. I know you know about Cedric Mullins and what he's been up to.
I do.
No doubt about that. We'll keep you updated on all of the playoff games that are going. And, of course, Major League Baseball has a full slate. We'll talk that with Colby Marchio when we come back.
Welcome back to Ready, Set, Bet with Matt Brown and Mike Somich on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
Ready, Set, Bet here on VSiN on a Saturday. Matt Brown, Mike Somich coming to you live as we get going over in the NHL. 0-0 early on over there. We also have playoff basketball that gets going early on today. A early lead for the Heat at home, 12-4 over the Cavs. About 6:55 left there in the first quarter. So we'll keep you updated throughout the course of the day. You got some baseball games just getting going as well. And speaking of baseball, let's talk some baseball here with Colby Marchio. And Colby, we were talking just real quick though, off before we got on. It's like the story that's just dominating. I mean, you go on Twitter, everyone, all the jokes, all the memes, all the everything that's going on with Shedeur Sanders. At this point, it seems like these teams are just trying to make a point, I guess, at some, because I mean, you know, if you don't think he's your franchise guy, fine. I'm not going to argue with you. It's your franchise. It's your thing. I'm not a talent evaluator, but I mean, like, he's not a 5th round quarterback. He's better than Dylan Gabriel. I mean, like, we're now at this point, we've gotten wacky season.
Cam Scanaboo went before him. That was not on my bingo card. That was not anything I expected. Well, good for Cam. Really, I had a lot of respect for that kid. That kid's a grinder. But I'm blown away. I don't have the highest, respect for Shedeur based on his play. The character thing, it is what it is. I was never wowed by him, but I'm wowed by him not being taken yet. It's the wildest draft that I can remember. I mean, maybe Will Levis was pretty wild because some people had him going top 3 or whatever, but yeah, this is nuts. He has to go soon. He's got to be taken soon.
But where's our Reddit rumor here? Why don't we have a Reddit rumor about him falling? Like, come on, we got it for other draft classes. We might as well get it for this one. All right, let's head over to baseball here. We got it at 11:10 first pitch on the West Coast, 2:10 first pitch out east. Angels taking on the Twins in this one. You got Kikuchi against Woods Richardson for the Twins. I'm going to talk about this one in the next segment because I have a bet coming from this one. But you've got a couple bets in here as well. Who do you like?
Yeah, I really like Byron Buxton over 1.5 H to the double R and his home run. If I like a guy to do anything, I typically always sprinkle on the home run because it's the most electrifying thing in sports. But he has the 8th highest rating on batter-box.com. 54 elite ratings in his the last 3 years. 68% hit rate, over 1.5 H to the double R, 55% of the time. Records a homer 18% of the time. Not the sexiest, but At home, 19 elite ratings, 78% hit rate, over 1.5 H to the double R, 63% of the time. Home run, 42%. I have to be on that home run prop because of that right there. A career against lefties, batting .255 with a 789 OPS, and a 113 WRC plus. Kikuchi allows the second most hard contact on the day, 38%. That's a ton. He's 76% slider and fastball, and none of them are above league value according to Fangraphs. And Buxton does really well against those pitches. I think the price at -110 for the H to double R is too good to pass up. And I'm not really a big H to the double R prop guy, but you're going to give me -118. I have to take it.
Let's head to a game over in Colorado. That is going down at 3:10 Eastern, 12:10 out Pacific. Over here, the Reds and the Rockies. Hunter Green on the road for the Reds. Antonio Senzatella at home there for the Rockies. -205 for the Reds, +170 for the Rockies. 10.5 as we see these elevated totals there in Colorado. 10.5 is our total. How are you looking at this one?
I'm looking at Hunter Green. The guy is having the luxury of going up against the worst disciplined team in baseball, coming off maybe his worst. It definitely is his worst start. I don't know why I said that. It is his worst start of the season with 5 earned runs, 6 hits allowed, 3 of those being home runs, and 3 innings pitched. He has a K per 9 above 10, and he has the highest average hitter matchup K percentage according to batters-box.com. When having an elite rating for the average hitter matchup K percentage, records 6 strikeouts 60% of the time and hits over this prop 35% of the time. Not the sexiest percentage there, but he's facing the Rockies, who have 9 hitters above the league K rate, and they're dead last with over 28% strikeout percentage. The Reds bullpen has been pretty taxed over the last 2 games, and I think they keep Green out there, especially against a struggling team at the plate. I think he has a really good day.
Now, I had never heard H to the double R before, Colby. That's a phenomenal way to say hits, runs, plus RBIs.
That's a Jared Smith. That's a Jared Smith. I stole it. It's a Jared Smith.
All right, I'm going to have to text Jared and tell him that's a good way to say it, because I always mess up when I'm talking hits, runs, RBIs. So H to the double R. I love that there. One of the few bright spots for this Mariners offense so far has been Cal Raleigh. He's got 9 homers on the year. Today, a nice matchup against Connor Gillespie. You think he's going to go off?
Yeah, I think he has a really good matchup today against Connor Gillespie, who is just putrid. I really like his bases prop and his home run. It's not the greatest price for a home run, but I think it's worth taking. Has not gone over his bases prop since Tuesday. Hasn't homered since Sunday. 55 elite ratings, records a hit 60% of the time, home run 25% of the time. Now let's talk about that putrid pitcher for the Marlins. 6.75 ERA with a sub 150 whip. Second worst pitcher on the day, according to batters-box.com. Has a poorly rated average hitter matchup, WOBA, ISO, and ground ball rate. The average rate or average value of his pitch is a -1.15, according to Fangraphs. Cal does not have the best batting average against any of those pitches, but his OPS and WRC plus are so outstanding that I had to be on this prop and completely ignore the batting average, because we know he's not an average guy. So I really like the price for his base and his home run.
Colby, I want to ask you just a kind of a general question here, as we are 25-ish games into the season for most of these teams at this point. We got this Orioles team. I think a lot of people thought were super live for that division, 10-14 on the season. You kind of go down to the Central here with the Twins are 10-16. You get the Astros hovering right about 500 in their division. Is there any team so far that you were pretty high on that has really disappointed, and maybe actually that's good for us bettors, because maybe this is an opportunity to move on them?
I'm going to try to keep my composure, because I was so high on this team since maybe December, and it's the Texas Rangers. Mm-hmm. You can say what you want about them being in first place. They are in trouble if they do not get those bats around. They're first in left on base percentage. Well, you're probably thinking, Colby, that's a really good thing. Oh, well, they're dead last in scoring. So they're just not even getting on base. They're 26th in batting average, 21st in run differential with a -13. They could be first in the AL West all they want. They are struggling, and it does not look great. Jock Peterson's batting under 100. This is a guy they thought was going to help turn around the lineup. They have a really good lineup. I still think they have a lineup that could average 6 runs a game. But now when you're looking like the worst team in baseball, according to your stats, without looking at the record, they're in trouble. Wyatt Langford's the only guy doing anything right now. He's on fire. I don't want anything to do with his props today, even though he has a good matchup, because he's that hot. I'm staying away from that. I'm staying away from this team till they turn it around, even though today they have a really good matchup. So if they have fun today, I wasn't on them, just an FYI, because they look terrible.
Now we've got the Athletics, who are 13-13, and one of the big discussion points so far this season has been that home ballpark in Sacramento and what we've seen from an offensive production standpoint. Have you had, with specifically the Rays and the A's here, either ballpark a play on for you with these props with both the homers and the total bases?
Oh, 100%. And I always get excited. I'm like, oh my God, are they playing in Sacramento? Are they playing at Steinbrenner? And it automatically makes me like something a little bit more. Maybe if I'm not fully sold, I'm like, well, if the weather's nice, I'm probably going to have to do it. And I'm not typically a guy that really looks into weather. I mean, yesterday I had Kyle Schwarber take it a hit and hit a home run at Wrigley, and I was supposed to be at the game, but it rained out, or it didn't rain out. I just left. But I didn't look at the weather. I didn't care. Anything can happen in baseball. So I typically don't really look at the weather unless it's like when it's getting really hot in Tampa, I'm going to be all over that because the ball's going to be flying.
Colby, I think the one question everyone is really wondering right now is about this Braves team that finds themselves in last over there in the NL East. We're not, I get it's still a smallish sample size, but now we're getting to 25, 26, 27 games. We're getting to that point where we have about enough data to where we can at least start to hypothetically draw some conclusions on some of these teams. Where you sit on this Braves team? Is this who they are, or do you truly believe deep down that they're going to turn this thing around?
I think I kind of treat them the same way I treat the Rangers in my head, at least, that we just need to see mid-May, June come around. The weather gets nice and the guys get healthier, get back Acuna. And I can't remember when he comes back, but when they get him back, this team should roll around. I mean, they're not that far behind. It's baseball. You can have a good week and you can be halfway there, all the way there, depending on the week. I think they're a good enough team to turn it around. I don't think there's any reason to even open the panic button. You can hover the hand around, maybe opening it, but don't need to even think about pressing the button.
There you go. Colby Marchio. Find him over at Betting News on the Twitter machine. New handle over there, Colby M. Bets. So be sure and follow him there at that one. Colby, appreciate it, and have a good one.
Of course. Thank you, guys. Have a good one.
Well, we blinked, Mike, and it is now 20-15 in favor of Cleveland over Miami. So, yeah, we were 12-4. It is 20-15 now. Cleveland on a massive run there. In that one, guys, the NBA playoffs are here. So is the VSiN Killer Sports NBA Playoff Challenge. 15 different sharp people out there in the sport. 38 picks each in this thing. Total of 570 NBA playoff picks that are available to VSiN Pro subscribers. So picks got to be locked in 1 hour before the first game each day. So head on over to VSiN.com, look on that picks page, and you'll be able to see just who took every single bet there for that day. Just $59, by the way, to become a VSiN Pro subscriber now through August the 1st. That is VSiN.com/subscribe to sign up. Ready, set, bet, coming back with all the updates.
Welcome back to Ready, Set, Bet with Matt Brown and Mike Somich on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
We are on the board. Panthers 1-0 there over the Lightning. 10:31 left in the first period. So, Mike, the home team leading 2-0 in the series, up 1-0 early.
Yeah, Matthew Tkachuk gets the goal, his third of the series. He has been phenomenal for Florida. And we had not seen Matthew Tkachuk since the Four Nations break. And so it's just an awesome return to the lineup here for what is really the heart and soul of this Florida team. And we've seen them play completely differently in these first two games. And even here in the third game with Tkachuk in the lineup, just a more aggressive Florida team, a faster Florida team. And what happens is when you have him in the lineup, all of a sudden you move the centers down one. And instead of your number one center is now your number two center. Your number two center, now your number three center. And that just creates so much more depth down the lineup for Florida. Having Matthew Tkachuk back's made all the difference in the world for this Panthers team.
30-20 now, the Cavs ahead of the Heat here in the first quarter. Still 21 seconds left in the first quarter. The Jared Alec game, 4 of 4 from the floor, 2 of 2 from the line, 5 boards already. So 10 and 5 with a steal, Mike, in the first quarter.
Yeah, I bet you could have gotten a pretty big number for Jared Allen to lead the scoring in this game. He's got a monster first quarter. DeAndre Hunter chipped in another 7 points. So you're getting secondary, tertiary support here for this Cavs offense right now. Donovan Mitchell just 1 point, and yet the Cavs up 10 here late in the first quarter.
Yeah, we are looking at and again, we always try to look and say like, okay, well, there must be an obvious discrepancy in X, Y, or Z. No, the Cavs are 3 of 10 from downtown, whereas the Heat are 4 of 7 from downtown. That's typically the first place we look, Mike. So that's not the case that is going on right here.
It is not. But if you look at the turnover number, that is where you're seeing the delta there. You mentioned Miami had 5 more turnovers than the Cavs did. They've got 6 more in the first quarter here. 7 turnovers for the Heat, just in the first quarter. Cavs.
I can tell you this. If they average 7 turnovers a quarter, they're not going to win this game. I can tell you that for certain.
That may be a record if they average 7 turnovers. If they put up, if they put up 28 turnovers, I'd be very, very impressed in a very bad way here for the Heat today.
Top of the first, and the Red Sox put 3 across the board. We get to the bottom of the first, the Guardians on the board as well. So hopefully you had the over trending that direction in Cleveland as we are 3-1, still going there in the bottom of the first. And Orioles and Tigers, even though we had an error on the Tigers side here, still scoreless, Mike, still scoreless.
Yeah, been a sloppy start to that game. You had base runners for the Orioles in the first inning. Now there's a man on here with 1 out in the second. You had 2 on for the Tigers in the bottom of the first. They're not able to push 1 across. And I almost took the over in that Red Sox Guardians game. I wanted it to be 9. It was 9.5. I didn't bet it. I'm kicking myself. You mentioned we're still in the bottom of the first. We haven't. Does the inning start before you get an out, Matt? I mean, we've got no outs, runners on the corners, and 1 run already in against Tanner Houck today.
This is more of an FYI for you out there as opposed to any sort of betting information that you were about to get. There is a team event going on the PGA Tour this week. If you listen to Long Shots, you know just how interested that we all were in that one, as we had the shortest episode, I think, ever in the history of that podcast. Taylor Dixon and Trace Crow are currently leading this one. That should tell you all you need to know.
Of course they are.
Yeah.
You didn't have Dixon Crow on top of your list?
I did not. Phillips and Thorbjornsen are in second, as are Ramey and Lauer. So, again, yeah, that's where we're at.
I do think we should at least talk about the format, because you blew my mind during the break. I thought, so it was best ball on Thursday, and you see like a 58 and a 59. And then like I see 71, 72, 70, 67 on Friday. I'm like, what happened? Like at best ball, they should be on the 50s every single day. Yeah, apparently it's not the same format every round, Matt.
They do alt shot on Friday and Sunday, and then they do the best ball here today, and they did it on Thursday as well. So it's what makes this tournament nearly impossible to handicap, because, Mike, how these teams are going to play when they're hitting every other ball, and, you know, your one of your guys is just, you know, spraying it off the tee that day or whatever it might be. I don't know. It's very, very I like the event. I like to break up the season and like let these dudes go and have some fun. And certainly from us, from a handicapping perspective, kind of take a week off, regroup, all of that type of stuff. So I like the event. I think it's a fun event. But as far as a betting aspect of it, it's a very difficult thing, and one that I don't spend a ton of time doing.
I'm going to go out on a limb, Matt, and say that Rory and Lowry were their favorites heading into the week in this event, since they are the 2 big names that are playing together. They're having
but 3-1. They were but 3. They were like plus 330.
Well, they're making a move here. T4 now 8 under through 11, so they are starting to rocket up the leaderboard here. And you think that they would have an advantage when you get to that alternating shots, just because of the talent both of them have.
The Taylor Dixon Trace Crow team did shoot 61 today, so they're in the clubhouse. They went 11 under out there today, Mike. So it can just let you know, whenever you have 2 professional golfers who are able to just fire at the pin because you're just taking the best score out of your team. We say this every single week. Every one of these golfers is the best golfer you've ever seen in your entire life. And there's no bigger proof than just looking at this leaderboard right now, where you see Taylor Dixon and Trace Crow, who went 63 on Thursday in the best ball format and followed it up with a 61 today. Phillips and Thorbjornsen, went 64. I mean, there's Cam Davis, Adams Finson went 61. These guys are all awesome.
I can't pronounce the people's names that went 58 on the first day. I can't even do it. I'm not even going to try.
I love it.
And they shot a 58.
As we do each and every Saturday and Sunday here on this program, Mike's going to talk about what he likes in the hockey world, what he likes over there on the track as well. But let's start on the ice.
Technical regulation size or what? It's time to ask Mike Somich, what the Don't you ever touch my puck!
Beautiful little intro. There's no intro for anything I do here on the show. I just want to let you know. That's just you. You get an intro. I don't get an intro. Your head's bigger than mine. Like, it's just, it's just like, what are we doing here? You got 2 bets over there on the ice today.
There you go. I lean back for you. My head should be a little bit smaller now. Just making sure that you're happy.
He's got
That's
a big
what I'm
head.
Here for.
I mean, it is what it is.
It is. It's a pretty big film. Let's start out with a question. What the puck Golden Knights, what are you doing, man? They are now down 2-1 in the series. They played one of the first periods, the worst first periods I have seen them play in literally years in game 2 at home. I think you'll see a big response from this Golden Knights team today. They're down 2-1. They need to win this game to get it back 2-2 and head home. They do not want to be down 3-1 and have to win 3 straight games to be able to eliminate the Wild here. Right now, you get the Golden Knights in the first period, -0.5 goal, plus 155. Give me a nice little plus number on the Golden Knights having a very good first period and being able to rebound from what we saw earlier in this series for them. They've been starting out slow. They need to change that. That's going to be a focus for them today. Let's bet on them being able to deliver on that focus. And then Colorado Avalanche. We talked about laying 1.5 goals. We've seen so many more empty net goals. Colorado, one of the best empty net goal teams. They are also down 2-1 to the Dallas Stars. They have outplayed the Dallas Stars in all 3 of these games, but lost 2 in overtime. I think you see a very motivated Avalanche team. They come out, get it done, and are able to send this series back 2-2 to Dallas. So give me the Avs -1.5 goals, plus 140 today as well.
There
Matt.
it is. Golden Knights first period, laying the half a goal there. So plus 155, and then the Avs on the puck line. Let's head to the track.
Saddle up, partner. Want to bet the horses with Mike Somich?
When I bet on horses, I never lose. Why? I bet on all the horses.
It's time to pony up. Giddy up.
Oh, it is almost here. Mike Somich's Super Bowl. That's not the actual Super Bowl. The other Super Bowl for him in his life. But going to go 2 weeks in a row to Churchill Downs. But let's, listen, there's still some money maybe to be won here this weekend over at Churchill Downs. So what are we looking at?
There is, and it's a great setup for the card tonight as well. This is night racing. So you've got this 7th race that we're going to talk about. 8:37 Eastern, first post here on the first race. So plenty of time to get this one in if you want to. You can check out all of those night races. And the big thing before the races, the Kentucky Derby draw will be happening at, I believe it's 4:15 Eastern today. So you're going to have the Kentucky Derby draw right after we get off the air here to see who gets what post positions. And right now we have 21 horses that will be entered. So you will have one also eligible. That will be Bieza, who I love if he draws in. We'll see if it happens, but he will end up in the 20 post if we don't see a defection before the draw here at 4:15. But on to today's card. Let's make some money today here. Let's start out with Churchill Downs race number 7. We've got 1.25 miles maiden special weight. So none of these horses have won a race before. They're going to go 1.25 miles, the Derby distance. Very, very far race for maiden special weights. You don't generally see this. I think it really benefits the number 2, Plaza Q, who is 5-2 on the morning line today. This horse has gone 2 turns in all 4 of her previous starts. So you know that she wants the distance. And I think she actually benefits from stretching out here to that 1.25 mile distance. She's also got speed. In these long maiden races, you want the horse on the lead. That's going to be Plaza Q. I think she goes gate to wire today. So Plaza Q in the 7th at Churchill Downs, 5-2 there. And then we'll skip forward 2 more races, Matt, and head to the 9th race. This is the feature on the card, 6 furlong sprint for $200,000 here. And we're going right back to the 2. Phenomenal name here. I know you're going to use this one. Sandy Bottom, the number 2 horse in the 9th race at Churchill Downs. And it's another situation where this is your fastest horse. She's just got speed on speed on speed, and there's not a lot of other speed in here. I think she gets right out to the lead for trainer Mike McCarthy, who's going to have your favorite in the Derby, by the way, in journalism, and able to deliver him a win here on opening day at Churchill. So race number 7, we're going with the number 2 horse, Plaza Q, and race number 9, the number 2 horse, Sandy Bottom, both of them 5-2 on the morning line, Matt.
You want to bet these along with Mike? First Bet's a place that you do it. Head to firstbet.com, the number 1 STBET.com, promo code VEASAN200 for a $200 sign up bonus. Don't miss out. Take advantage of this before Derby Day. Guys, you might as well go up and sign up now. You're going to be wanting to place those Derby bets as we're going to have all kinds of coverage here on the network. So again, firstbet.com, 1STBET.com, promo code VEASAN200.
Welcome back to Ready, Set, Bet with Matt Brown and Mike Somich on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
Ready, Set, Bet here on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. Thank you for being with us here on a Saturday, channel 158 over on Sirius, YouTube TV, our very own VSiN Watch app. We thank you for that. Churchill Downs today. Churchill Downs again next week. Mike Somich, you're going to have a special program here on Saturday in which you're going to be talking all things horse racing, leading us into everything. And, it is we joke because you and I have our things that we kind of specialize in outside of, the major sports, yours being horse racing, mine kind of being golf. And everyone's a golf. Everyone's interested in golf, and everyone knows everything about golf, and everyone's a golf expert around the Masters. And it's the same deal with the Kentucky Derby, like starting Tuesday. I'll say Tuesday for sports fans, and then for casuals Thursday, and then everyone's going to know everything about horse racing. So it'll start Tuesday for sports guys. It'll start Thursday for just casual people at the water cooler at work.
It is amazing,
yeah.
Amazing the amount of people that all of a sudden know everything about horse racing. Once we get to Kentucky Derby Saturday, I also love, and I'm sure you get this around the Masters, I've got probably about 20 people I hear from once a year. It's on Derby Saturday. Who do you like? Who should I bet? Right?
Yeah.
It's just, that's the one day a year I know I will be hearing from them.
Yeah, it is. It's super funny. But again, we're going to have tons of coverage here. We got a lot of smart people in the horse racing world. So be sure and tune in for that. Again, race 7 today, the number 2 horse. Race 9 today, the number 2 horse. Did you do? So we're going to 2-2. Oh, we can't do double. It's 2 races in a row, right? So
yeah, I don't like the 2 and the 8th, so we can't do a pick 3. But I do like the 2 and the 7th, the 2 and the 9th. And if you are interested in Kentucky Derby coverage, make sure you check out VSiN at the Track. Road to the Kentucky Derby on Friday. That will be live at 2:15 Eastern time over on the YouTube page at VSiN Live. And then Saturday from 1 o'clock Pacific to 5 o'clock Pacific, 4 to 8 Eastern. You can join myself and Aaron Halterman for a special VSiN at the Track episode, which will cover us leading up to the Kentucky Derby and through the Kentucky Derby to take out all the takeaways. You can catch that on SiriusXM channel 158, as well as everywhere you watch VSiN and Mad Dog Radio on Saturday.
Ashes and diamonds in that 7th race, Mike. That's going to make it.
Ticket.
Yeah, that's going to make it. And then non-violence sounds really good in that 9th race.
Okay.
Like non-violence.
Non-violent. I do love the sire violence. It's a fun play on name there. The dad's name's Violence, so this one's called non-violent. So I don't hate that there. And Ashes and Diamonds, very interesting horse to me. The 6th horse there in the 7th race as well. So I like that pick.
I will tell you, I started watching. Have you watched the Netflix show yet?
I have not actually.
Really?
Did you like it?
I'm 3 deep of 6. I think there's 6 episodes. I'm 3 deep. They've highlighted a couple of the owners so far that are pretty interesting cats. I'll just say that. Pretty interesting cats there in the horse racing industry.
We are not short personalities in the horse racing world. I'll put it that way. You could definitely have a lot of characters inside the horse racing world. I'm excited. The Race for the Crown's the name of the show. It's over on Netflix. 6-episode documentary all about horse racing. I love the part where they go into the jockey stories. Jockey's absolutely fascinating to me. How do you decide you're going to be a jockey? Right. I mean, and then B, like the life that they lead and the difficulties, much like someone who's trying to make weight in the UFC, right? Where you can only eat a certain amount. You have to be extremely strong, incredible core strength, because you're steering 1,000-pound animals and you literally lay less than 100 pounds yourself.
Yeah, I'm going to guess a lot of them start to realize they want to be jockeys whenever they quit growing. Mike, I'm just going to guess. It's like whenever you look up and you're like, well, my options are now limited. And so I'm going to go into all that. But they do get into some really good stories there. And, you get to see the personality of some of these guys. They actually hang out off the track and are buddies and things and stuff like that. So, yeah, it's cool. You'll love it. You'll love it, I promise. Okay, so the story of the day, as we said, we're tracking to see if Shedeur Sanders is going to go in the draft. I think at this point, Mike, it's pretty apparent he's not. I mean, there must be some sort of, I don't know if his camp put out there, don't draft this kid or something or whatever or something. But I mean,
so
he's not.
You think he will not be? You don't think he'll be drafted at all?
I think at this point, I mean, why would you then at this point, if you didn't think he's good enough to do anything? So now if the whole reason is you didn't want to draft him earlier on because you didn't want the circus coming to town, well, then what has changed?
Amplified.
Yeah. What's changed? If anything, it's just going to be more, right? I mean, nothing's changed, or actually it's probably amplified. So I think he probably just goes undrafted at this point.
That'd be wild. I've not looked at the odds if even undrafted is an option for Shedeur Sanders right now. Like team to be drafted by. I have a Shedeur Sanders at 22-1 to go to the Dolphins. I'm hoping we got like 3 picks in the 5th round.
Yeah.
We need a backup quarterback. He fits the Mike McDaniel system very well. Tua has been injury prone. Makes a ton of sense to me, but also would have made sense in the 4th round, and they traded away their pick to the Texans. So we'll see what happens here. I find this fascinating. I understand Shedeur Sanders probably should not have been a 1st round pick. I surprised that no one has said, you know what, I'm willing to take on this circus for a 4th round effort, because there is a world where he ends up being a starting quarterback in the NFL.
Mike, we say this all the time. We're not talent evaluators, but these dudes that are, I mean, McShay had him 20th, Brugler had him 34th, like whatever. I mean, these are not
Piper had him 31st.
These are not dudes that are just swooping in and doing this because it's Deion's kid. Like these are guys that are been around for a decade plus now doing this, like grinding over film 330 days a year. So again, I don't do it for a living, but I have to trust these guys that do. And so you want to tell me he's not a 1st rounder? Fine. I don't care. Like, okay, I get it.
Yep.
But now you're going to try to convince me he's a 5th rounder? That's just, there's no chance. No chance. They're not that far off.
Look, you're right. We're not talent evaluators. Yeah. I've watched a lot of Dylan Gabriel because I bet him to win the Heisman when he was at Oklahoma. Let me tell you, Dylan Gabriel has a much lower chance of becoming an NFL starting quarterback than Shedeur Sanders does.
Yeah, it's true. It really is. I mean, one thing we do know with the draft overall, from a betting market standpoint, it doesn't change anything really. You go, you look in, you see what these teams are look like from a Super Bowl standpoint or from whatever. Mike say, no one player is really going to make the difference in these teams. Now, that being said, when this thing all wraps up, you and I'll look at these teams from a holistic standpoint. And I do think a team can get better holistically in the draft if you address, look no further than the Eagles last year, right? You and I love the fact that they went in, they had a glaring need and they went after it, addressed it. Sure, we didn't know they were going to play as well as they did, but we love the fact that they went in, nailed this really glaring weakness and made the team better. So sure, we will be able to look at these teams, look at the body of work of the draft, and then maybe some of these odds might look a little bit more appealing to us for some of these teams, maybe to win their division or win totals when those come out, et cetera, because we're like, okay, you needed that offensive line depth. You needed that defensive line depth. You needed a starting corner. Glad you went and got that guy, yada, yada, yada.
Yeah, you definitely look at some of those teams. A couple jump out to me. Like I'm looking through the division prices where we made a killing last year and getting into bets early. Eagles minus 140. I love what they did. They again got 2 players dropped to them in the 1st and 2nd round. They're going to be phenomenal defensive players. This is the best defense in the NFL. You still got a bunch of offensive solutions there as well. I mean, I'm not sure the Commanders got that much better with this draft. The Cowboys and the Giants, no thanks. The other one to me, and I can't believe I'm saying this because I was the anti-Texans guy on the network last year. I hate what the Jaguars did. We can talk about that if you want to. I'm not impressed with what the Colts or the Titans have done here in this draft. I don't think Cam Ward starts day one is phenomenal. You can get the Houston Texans at plus 100 to win the AFC South. Kind of like that considering the wide receivers they added in this draft.
Yeah, I do like some teams a little bit better, now after what they've done in the draft. And I think there will be some bets to be made here for us over in the division markets, like you said, in particular. Pretty good draft for me overall. Had the over on, we took that position early on of Shedeur exactly number 2 or over 3.5, because it was like he was either going to go 2 or he was going to go later than that. And so obviously I didn't mean 3.5 rounds though, Mike. I meant 3.5 picks. Yeah.
3.5 rounds, you're getting a big time plus money if you did it before the draft started.
Yeah, so get that home. Had the Ashton Genty under 9.5. Jackson Dart under 25.5, which was fortunate because he went at 25. Thank you, Circa, for posting the 25.5 out here behind us. Jets' first pick offensive lineman got home. The big one for me was Colston Loveland being the first tight end at 5-1 was the real big hit for me on the night. Under running backs, had to lay the wood on that, but then lost the over on the quarterbacks, which I had to lay the wood on that as well. So those kind of cancel each other out. So no win, no loss there for those. And then really the big ones that I missed on, Mike, were, I did have Matthew Golden under 16.5. Obviously he went over that. I had him to be I had Tyler Warren under 10.5. He didn't get there on that. And then outside of that, I was really just taking some dart throws. So pretty good overall draft for me from a betting standpoint.
I lost $40. Like after all of these bets back and forth, I lost $40, and I've got this 22-1 shot out. So it could be a great draft if the Dolphins take Shedeur. If not, is what it is. Your Loveland saved me a lot of money there because I had Tyler Warren to the Bears for quite a bit, but fortunately I had Loveland first tight end as well to kind of cover it. So it was a win-loss sort of scenario there for me, but it would have been nice if that was Tyler Warren.
Guys, if you want to come join us out here at circalasvegas.com, a $400 all-in price pack is now through September the 4th. You're going to get a 2-night stay, $100 dining credit, $100 beverage credit, and a day bed at Stadium Swim. Yes, all for just $400, circalasvegas.com.